Hey, do you want to dominate local search and drive more customers to your business? This week, we're diving into the power of Google Business Profiles, SEO, and turning your business into a customer lead magnet. Discover how you can skyrocket your visibility, align your business with search intent, and help you stand out to potential customers. This week, I've got Marilyn Jenkins on us with Profit with a Plan podcast, who has over 2 decades of experience helping businesses achieve massive growth. So tune in today and grow your business. Hey, entrepreneurs, are you ready to boost your profit and grow your business? Well, welcome to Profit with a Plan podcast, where we share strategies to help you scale your company, increase profitability, and set it up for a future successful exit. I'm Marcia Reiner, business growth strategist and profit booster behind Infinite Profit. I've helped countless entrepreneurs to build a highly profitable and sale-ready business that's more profits now and a bigger payout later on. Today's episode is sponsored by Infinite Profit, where we don't just discuss profit, we deliver it. Ready to take your business to the next level? Visit infiniteprofitconsulting.com and start boosting your bottom line today. All right, before we get started, I have something special for you. So if you thought about avoiding profit plateaus, operational headaches, and those pesky growth roadblocks, who hasn't, right? Go grab my Profit Booster playbook at boostingprofit.com, where I share 3 essential strategies to help you elevate your profits quickly. All right, let's jump into today's episode. Our guest today is Marilyn Jenkins. Marilyn is a seasoned digital growth strategist and the founder of the MJ Media Group and the Law Marketing Zone. She is an expert in digital marketing, specializing in SEO, Google Business Profile optimization, and driving business success through innovative strategies. Marilyn has helped law firms achieve 7-figure revenues and 14 times ROI on their investment. She also is the host and fellow podcast host of Leadership in Law podcast and the author of Profit Driven Digital Marketing and the Google Business Profile Training Guide. Marilyn, welcome to Profit with a Plan podcast. I'm excited to have you on today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I love your show.
Oh, thanks. It's definitely been quite a journey. 5.5 years, over
Wow.
275 episodes, I think, coming in close to that. So it's just been rolling along, and it's a joy. So
Wow.
thank you for recognizing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you get into digital marketing? I mean, we all have our stories, but what drove you into digital marketing?
I have been in computers since the 90s. So been in digital before, AOL was even around. So it's always been something really close to my heart, something I enjoyed. And it just transitioned that, when everybody needed a website, then I started building websites for my friends that own businesses. And then, okay, now I've got a website, now I need traffic. And so just word of mouth, it just grew. And I was able to help businesses grow in ways they had never thought about growing before. And then, of course, Google Places came into being. So it's just been a learn and just stay with the technology and help clients grow. And it's just been really, really fun. And, writing a couple of books, helping people learn, the ones who want to DIY it. And so I'm happy that I work mostly with service-based businesses, local service businesses, and law firms right now. So
Nice.
helping them grow.
Well, I think it's also given you something really cool to do. The freedom to do other things, right?
That's right. That's right. I do a lot of traveling, which I love. I work remote. My entire team is remote, all over the world, including the U.S. So yeah, it's turns out it's what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to work for myself and be able to work when I want to work. And luckily, I have some great clients as well.
I love it, love it. The laptop lifestyle that we all sometimes dream of, the freedom that it provides for us. So it's amazing that people we've evolved. First of all, I mean, you and I, we know that the computer is still relatively new in the space, right? And then
True.
everybody had to have this website that did absolutely nothing for them besides be a glorified business card. And then you had to drive traffic and you had to do all this stuff that nobody really in the business space knew what to do with it. So we relied heavily on experts like you to come in and make this landscape, this real estate called the web, something valuable and turn it into driving customers. And I know that only a real small percentage of businesses are actually getting what they hoped out of it.
True, that's true. And then people like when you did convince them they needed a website, then later you had to make it mobile friendly whenever so it was almost like a consistent, okay, now you need SEO to get traffic, and now we've got social media on top of that. So if you've been around long enough, you've seen the whole growth and
Evolution.
where's it going? Yeah, the evolution of needing a website, what it's all about.
Well, I love it. I know that, audience, we still need a traditional website that is a brochure, a business card of sort that is on the website. And we need marketing things like landing pages and things like that. But it can be
Right.
combined and it can use other tools that will drive traffic to the website and therefore to your landing page so you can capture information from the audience that's coming in. So I know we're going to get into that a little bit later, but the first thing that I wanted to kind of go over today is something that has rapidly changed in recent times, which is your Google business profile and
Right.
how we use that going forward, since a lot of us are kind of digital going now.
Yeah, the Google Business Profile, a lot of people still think of Google My Business. This is actually the, I think, eighth iteration of Google Places. So they change the name every time they come up with all these new enhancements. And like it or not, Google is basically social media. They're the number one search engine in the world. YouTube is number two. Their main goal is engagement, user satisfaction. If people aren't getting from their searches what they want, they'll go somewhere else.
Mm.
So in order to do that, the Google Places was given to businesses. A lot of them didn't realize that. It really started getting traction at Google My Business, and most businesses used it to house their reviews. They did nothing
Mm.
else with it. So when Google Business Profile, when it transitioned to Google Business Profile, there are so many things you can do in it to tell Google exactly who your customer is and what search you should be displaying for. But
Love it.
people just still kind of think of it as Google My Business and, oh, go give me a review, and they do nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so powerful now compared to what it used to be. I mean, we've got clients that within 60 days have gotten their number of phone calls increased to 42%.
Wow,
Now, how
that's
would that
impressive.
change your business? Yeah,
Wow. So it is a search engine optimization that you're doing, right? And that's the combination of keywords and phrases and things that
right,
you have throughout your website and telling the engine who your ideal customer is,
right.
right? So it takes a little clarity on our side and somebody masterful on the other side to be able to get the engine to react in the way that you want it to, right? Rather than just going, oh, here's my footprint. My door's
Yeah.
open. Hi, I'm here waiting.
Well, true. And, like the interaction thing, you should be doing a little something every week to your Google Business Profile. You're then, with that interaction, you're telling Google, I care about your traffic and
Mm,
my future customers. So one of the things that was added with Google Business Profile is products and services. So
mm,
whether you sell products or you sell services, there is actually a listing in there where you can put a photo and a description and a link to your website. So we suggest all our clients and anyone listening to have a service in city page. So say that you're I don't know, a plumber in Dallas. You would have a plumber or whatever other service you have in Dallas. So that could be a page for every service that you have in every city that you service. And then when you say you go to Google Business Profile and you put a service that I work on heating in Dallas or Garland or whatever, that's a service. and that's a link to that page. So now you've got an amazing inbound link.
Wow, that's brilliant. But what if you service the United States? Do I need to have a page for each city in the United States? I mean, that would be quite a hefty web page.
Well, true. And to tell you the truth, Google Business Profile is really designed for the local market.
Mhm.
It's not designed for those of us that are global or nationwide. It's important, I think, if you are, if you have one and have a business address, you still need to manage it. You still need to make sure it's there. Just realize you're not going to get a lot of local traffic. I have a client that's they do industrial work, but not locally. They still made sure their Google Business Profile was complete, but they don't focus on it because in their local area is not where most of their jobs come from. But they
Interesting.
took the time to do that, which gives them a really good inbound link to their website. And they did their services pages. Do they get local traffic? Probably. Do they get local jobs? Very few, because they work out of things like Arizona and Florida and Texas. So, they have a network they work with. It's a little bit different if you're not a strictly local business. But if you're a local baker, plumber, pizza place, copy center, if you rely on local business, it's incredibly important that you take advantage of this free resource from Google.
Love it. And there's nothing for us digital nomads that work out of our home, but still have a business, a license, and all that stuff. We just don't have a storefront, so we can't necessarily use Google Business, right? Google Profile.
You could, but if you don't, if you check the little mark not to show my address, it's not really beneficial to you.
Got
And
it.
again, like you're like me, it doesn't matter where I am. If I work out of Houston, Texas, that's where my company is registered. But it's not like I market specifically to Houston, Texas, so it does me no good.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about SEO and how we can really truly drive business to our website. And then what can we do about it once they land there? Because unless you have like a specific lead capture that is interested to that person, not everybody's going to click that button and give you your email address. So let's talk. I'm putting the cart before the horse. Let's talk about let's talk about SEO. So how do we drive people to our website?
Well, I think the core is going to be your Google business profile, right? Make sure everything you have is listed on there. And then the weight of Google Business Profile comes from citations. Now, a citation, years ago, we just all wanted backlinks. We didn't care where they came from. The more backlinks, the better you ranked. Algorithm figured that one out quickly, that we were gaming the system. So they're looking for, yeah, exactly. Really? Did we do that?
What? Game system? What are you talking about?
What? So what they look for now are citations, and citations come from directories. Okay. So if you are a service-based business, you might want to be on Angie's. You want to make sure you're on Yext, have a Facebook page, and make sure in every one of these locations, your name, address, and phone number are identical. And I mean to the point of, if you have Northwest in your address and you spell it out in some places and you put NW in other places, Google won't give you the full ranking for that. So they are taking the number of citations that you have and using that as a weight also for in the search. So Google searches are no longer in the map pack. It's not just who has the most reviews. Okay. All of these things come into play. So now all of these citations link back to your website or a specific page in your website. So now you've got all this traffic coming to your website. Now about 97% of those are going to ghost you. They would just go away. They don't fill out a form. They don't click a button. They're like, fabulous, bye-bye. So you're sitting here going, okay, I see on my reports I'm getting traffic, but where are they? Who are they?
Right.
So that's one of the biggest struggles. And it's a frustration with a website, but everybody has that. So I'm going to segue into our solution to that.
Yes, please. Because I think, listeners, that's the biggest thing that drew me to this conversation is the lost traffic.
Yes.
Because we do get these fantastic reports now telling us exactly where people went, what page they went on, how long they stayed there. Did they watch that video? Did they read your blog? Did they listen to your podcast? Did they, do anything? Did they check on who you were? So we've got all that data, and then they're like, bye. And you're like, well, who was that?
Yeah.
I can't tell based on what's that little, the
IP
number.
address.
the IP address, who that person was. So
Right.
there's no address directory that would say, oh, that's Bob Smith, and he was on my website. And by the way, here's Bob Smith's telephone number.
Right.
So, it's terrible the amount, like you said, 97% are gone, and you never
Yeah.
even had a chance to see them.
And exactly. And out of that 97%, literally about 50% are bots, right? So
Mm.
when you think of bots, so Google crawls your website. If you've given it to them, they'll crawl your website every so often looking for updates. That's why a blog is a good thing, right? So you're constantly giving new content. All of the search engines are coming by and looking at it. So what we have is a piece of software that we can put a little code in the top of your website. So every time someone lands there, if they're not a bot, we can collect their name, email, up to 2 emails, 2 phone numbers, and their mailing address.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
And they don't
And we,
even know you're grabbing it because it's a
no,
code, right?
right. They go to your website, it looks like normal, and we gather the information. Now the key here is we can get 30 to 50% of your traffic. If they're bad email addresses, we never show them to you. Everything we give you is cleaned. We clean the data before it comes through. The only thing that's not good is the phone numbers are about 50% good because we are so good at changing our phone numbers when we change contracts or whatever. It's just, but we'll gather what numbers we can. The email addresses, though, I'm using it on my websites, and I've got 100% deliverability to my email marketing to these emails.
Golly, that's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing that this is even available out there now for us to do that. I mean, so it's kind of like a pixel that you would put on Facebook to see where the traffic came from when you ran your ad. If those of
exactly.
us who, know anything about ads and stuff, it's just a little piece of code that
Mhm.
just sends it and says, oh, here, report that back to so and so, report that back to so and so.
And we
And
populate the Google Sheet as they come in, so it's real-time lead.
wow.
And this is a great database to do a couple of things with. I have some local companies that are using it to mail out postcards. So say you think about if you're a real estate agent and
Yeah.
someone came to one of your listings, came to your website and bounced to a listing. If
Hmm.
they came to your website, you can then send them a postcard and tell them about who you are, right? Maybe a QR code to come back or to schedule it, whatever. But a postcard because they're in your local area,
Hmm.
right? So imagine you're an HVAC company and you've got all these people coming to your site. You're not going to an HVAC site for entertainment. You have a
Yeah,
need,
there's no
right?
social media on an HVAC site.
No, so there's a need there.
Right.
So, if they visited your site, there is a need. Now, can you get to them before they solve that problem? So what you can do is I suggest email them immediately. So we set automations up to capture those leads and send them an immediate email that says, hey, you visited our site. How can we help you? These are the things we help with. That kind of thing. Here's my phone number. Give me a call. And then we also suggest calling them. Never, ever SMS them.
Right.
Okay, because you don't have permission, and that could be a $5,000 fine for everyone that files a claim. So you don't want to do
Ooh,
that. But you
yeah.
want to call them because 50% of the phone numbers are going to be good, sometimes more.
Not only that, that's an incredibly hot lead with an emergency urgency to it that
Yes,
you want somebody in your office sitting there waiting for that ding to occur and going, oh crap, call Marcia. Marcia, I understand you were looking for some HVAC services. Do you have a problem right now that we can assist you with? Like you
right.
said, chances are it's hot as hell and their air conditioning's out. You know?
Exactly.
I
And they
mean,
might
talk
have
about a
gone to
hot lead.
Google, did a search, found your Google business profile, went to your website instead of tapping the call, right? Now on your Google business profile, we back up to that as a source of traffic. You have a chat button or an SMS button, you have a website button and the tap to call button. Make sure you fill out every single way of reaching out to you.
Ah, smart.
But if you have
Smart.
your website and they go to your website, we can capture them there.
Okay, so let's play the scenario with someone like me. So I'm a business consultant. I help businesses to grow their revenue and boost their profitability. There's rarely an urgent air conditioning's out and it's 100 degrees out. So for
Mhm.
me, this would be a perfect way for me to start saying, oh, you came to my website with some interest. and you left your email address, I can start nurturing that
Right.
relationship in a way to say, here's some value, here's some buyer's beliefs that I happen to knock down pretty regularly,
Yep.
and let me move you through your journey into considering me for helping you to grow your company. I
And
mean,
I'll take that one step further. If you're running Facebook ads, you'd take all those emails and all those phone numbers and dump them into a retargeting audience, and then
get
start putting your value add ads out in front of them.
out of here.
Yeah.
So, okay, listeners, you know that time that, you're a man and you went shopping for something for your wife, and now you get nothing but those ads on your Facebook or even Google. That's the retargeting because you
Yeah.
typed something in there.
Yeah, I mean, how
Brilliant.
many of us have looked at a coffee maker on Amazon, and then everywhere you go across the web, there's that coffee maker. You're right,
Yes.
great, okay, I'll buy the coffee maker. So
Yes.
yeah, so this particular sheet in database makes a really, really good retargeting audience, and we can go one step further and actually set up a list of keywords and actually capture people that are searching for your keywords in your local area on secondary search engines. And then those go into retargeting. So you're building your retargeting as well as, like I said, I've got clients that in their local area, they're mailing postcards to the search traffic. So, and making phone calls. So you just assign a team member to do this and, just make it happen. But the immediate email is huge.
You know what? This is what we dreamed of when we spent a lot of money and created this glamorous website about us. And we've been now 25 years with the website and nothing's happened. And now, poof, we've got something that we can actually use as a tool
Yeah.
to create, a footprint on it. And I think you had a really cool visual in the way you describe this. You called it,
Click reveal engine.
and what you did is it creates a caller ID.
A caller ID for your website. Absolutely. And this cleaned data. So these are real people. Now the phone
Mm,
number is the only thing, but you know the name. We've got at least 2 email addresses and their home address. So
wow.
unless they've moved in the last, say, 30 days, there's a postcard you could send out.
So
So
does
I
this
mean,
work for businesses as well? So if so I'm a B2B, so I work, business to business. So if a business owner came on, would it send me his home address or would it
yes,
send me his business address?
home, all home.
All home. Okay.
Yeah.
So the dress may not, well, that would be kind of awkward. Hey, Mr. Founder CEO, sending him a letter to his home, it might be a little awkward.
That's why it'd be a good idea to take those and put them in a retargeting campaign that's actually specific to that, an intro. So what we would do is, so those people that you don't, you're B2B and they've come to your website, you've captured that, have a separate retargeting campaign at $2 or $3 a day. You don't need to spend a lot. And their intro videos, you talking and introducing yourself. What do? Add value, give them something, and let them see you a few times. And now they're like, I went to that website. I should call her.
Yes. Don't run out of the gate and go, hey, buy my crap right now, right?
Yeah, it's like I have a
Nurture.
coach that loves the analogy of, you don't walk up to a girl at the bar and ask her to marry you. You talk to her first. So.
Exactly, exactly. I love that. I love that analogy as well. But yeah, it is. I think it's a really fantastic tool because you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears out there every day trying to brand and get awareness on your company.
And some of you are spending 1,000 to 1,500 a month on SEO services.
Oh my goodness, right? And you're
So
not
you're
getting
getting that.
anything for it
Exactly.
because you can't capture the visitors that don't actively go, hi, Marcia, I'm interested in your stuff.
Exactly. I mean, 97% of website traffic goes away without filling out your form, effectively ghosting you. So why did they do that? Maybe their need wasn't as important right now. Maybe they're in the early stages of research. Maybe, you never know. Life got in the way. The kids spilled milk as soon as they got to your website, and so they had to close it and go clean up the milk. I mean, you never know. But
Yeah.
dog needed to get out. But anyway, yeah, I mean, you've got 97% of your traffic that goes away, and you're spending money on SEO. You're doing work on your Google business profile to get traffic to your website Why not capture those and then be able to use retargeting campaigns for just a few dollars a day to introduce them to your business?
I love this. Marilyn, this is brilliant to combine it with the Google profile, to combine it with your other marketing efforts, to combine it with anything that you're doing, whether local or even nationally based, preferably local, because that's where that's where your business is, and that's where you develop your time and your physical relationships and everything else. But what a brilliant idea to capture those people and start nurturing that relationship in a way that says,
Exactly. I mean,
been
if
there,
you're
done
retail, exactly. If you're retail, sorry to interrupt you. If you're retail, it's a perfect way of sending out maybe a coupon for a special offer, right?
Yep.
Imagine you're a restaurant and somebody came to your restaurant website, you captured them. Well, you obviously have competition, so why not drop them some coupons? Just a simple, 4x6, the cheapest little postcard. Have a bunch of those printed up. You can print up 100 for, inexpensive, and have somebody fill out a postcard every morning to go to everybody that came in overnight.
I love it. I mean, this is easy manual stuff. And, you know, um, especially if you're local, snail
Yep,
mail is coming back.
it is.
I mean, the poor post office has lost so much in money because we stopped mailing traditional things. But people still, yeah, they open their mail over the garbage can. But if you've got something that's catchy and attractive in marketing, you're getting their attention
Yeah.
by putting something in their hand versus the 300 emails they get every day and 3,000 Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn impressions that they get every day. You're giving them something in their hand that costs you 50 cents to mail, whatever the
Yeah.
mailing price is.
Whatever 50, I don't know, 58 cents, but also think of it, compare it to Valpak, right? So I'm not sure that every place is still doing Valpak, but there's the pack of
The envelope with
coupons.
all the coupons.
Exactly. How many people are actually going to go through that and find something valuable? They blanket a zip code, right? And you as the business pay to have your coupon to blanket a zip code. Okay, that's what we call throwing spaghetti on the wall. What we're giving you is a list of people that actually came to your website.
They raised their hand and said, Marcia, I'm interested in something. That's why I landed on your website.
So instead of spending $600 to have a coupon put in Valpak that's the same color as the other 40 that are in there, spend 58 cents plus, I mean, design a postcard, print up 100, and see how it works.
You know what? I think what you've done is you've shortened the track, right? The
Yeah.
trajectory that you've got to go. You've shortened the ramp and said, instead of going spaghetti on the wall and blanketing these things, you're going to somebody who's expressed interest.
By their actions. And we know their name, we know their email, and we know their home address. We have an inkling of a phone number. So what can you do with that data?
A lot. A lot. So this
And I'll
is
bet you that you have one person in your retail store, or one person in your business that can gather together an hour of their time to manually do this every morning or every evening.
brilliant. And this works across the board, whether you're retail or services or you're selling products, right?
Right?
Think about e-commerce, right? If
Yeah.
e-commerce is sitting there and they're selling blouses to the local, boutique, right?
Hmm.
And they want to do something else, that's interest there, as
Yeah.
well as professionals like tax time and, your specialty in the legal space, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just this idea goes across every single industry that I can think of
Yeah. I mean,
that says,
I
yes,
can't
now
think of
I've,
another local business that wouldn't, or a business that wouldn't work for. I run it for myself, and I'm building my retargeting audience of people that are interested in marketing services.
mm,
But if I was a local business, if I was the local pizza place and people came to my website, they'd have coupons in the mail the next day. And you're local, it'd be in your mailbox the following day.
That's quick. That's quick. And talk about a differentiator, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's really using that whole scheme of retargeting and keeping them in your sphere for a longer period of time.
Yeah, and you could even
I
do a
love it.
QR code directly to your Google Business profile so they can go look at you. So you sent them a postcard. They've been to your website. You send them a 58-cent postcard with a QR code, with coupons, and a QR code to check you out. Maybe make a reservation. You're making it so easy for them to come into your restaurant. I
I
mean, it's
love it.
no different for any business. Make it simple. You've
I
got
love
their
it.
information, so yes, we can help you gather that information, and then, you take it from there.
Okay, retargeting on steroids. That's what this is.
Yeah,
So thinking about this, we started off on Google Business Profile and having a profile that takes the number one search engine and utilizes a free service,
right.
right? To get you exposure and bringing people in. We talked briefly about SEO and keywords and backlinks and things that are no longer working, and the fact that we need to have more citations and more content on our website that attracts Google to send people to your website and
Right.
keep them there. And then the best, juiciest thing out of the whole thing is once they land there, now you can keep them in your sphere and start nurturing them and send them coupons and value-driven content and offers and opportunities. And we know buying cycles have gotten quite a bit longer unless it's 100
Right.
degrees and your air conditioning's out. The buying cycle is longer. So what better way to be able to capture their information, especially when they didn't give it to you, and be able to start nurturing them and sending them information. And soon they'll start to, what is it? Now it's 20 times somebody needs to see something
Yeah,
before they make a decision versus the used to be, 3 to 7. So
right.
now you can start getting that cycle rolling.
That's
This,
why I would get so many different things on your postcard. It's simple. A QR code, a coupon, a picture of your restaurant or store on the front. Yeah,
yep, I love it. This is brilliant. Okay. Marilyn, we can talk for days. I'm sold. Like this is the most brilliant thing ever to have a caller ID on your website. And
absolutely.
where can listeners find out more about you and this service? Because it's great. Because there's so much more you can do with it, but this
Right.
is the first step in my mind,
Exactly.
or second
And
step.
it's
You've got to bring people in. The second step is capture their information and then retarget and rebuild and nurture. I mean, there's tons.
exactly the best place to find more about the service, and the two options that we have is click revealengine.com. And then you can reach me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or on mjmediagroup.co.
Love it. Love it. And it's reasonable too, right? I mean,
It's very
this
reasonable.
yes. This is not going to break the bank, you guys. This is
No,
so stupid simple that you would be insane not to do this. I mean, that's just my opinion, but it's definitely worth it. And easy to do that even your kid could add it to your website.
yeah,
I
it's one
love it.
little piece of code and you're good to go.
I love it. I love it. All right, listeners, thanks for tuning in today. I hope you picked up some valuable insight and actionable ideas that will help you make your business more profitable. And what better way to do it is bringing people that raise their hands with some interest and you can follow up with them. All right, as I mentioned earlier, if you wanted to take your business to the next level, please make sure you grab my free Profit Booster Playbook at boostingprofit.com, where I break down the steps that you can take right now to drive profits, streamline your operation, and prepare your business for future growth. Don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss future shows. You can always catch Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast platforms. And we're looking forward to more great profitable strategies on next week's show. So until then, make your plans and profit with them. Thank you so much, Marilyn. This has been fantastic.
Thank you.